Greetings. Sober time, sober discussion, sober comments, stray thoughts. These are the days in which a great deal is coming home to roost, where we have had 4 years of what have we had? We've had a president who was brain addled. Other people were running this country whose names and identities are yet to be discovered. We've had 8 years of absolutely consistently incessant screeching about Trump. We've had 8 years of Trump derangement syndrome, which is different from legitimately criticizing specific things. This is reactively, reflexively, immediately, and overwhelmingly against Trump. So much so that without reason, they were beginning to figure out, plan, plot how to impeach Trump before he even became president in 2000. He became president in 2017. He won the election in November 2016. They were already beginning to figure out how they can impeach him. And it did not stop from that. 8 years, and now we're into year 9, I guess. I'm not doing the math. They're still deranged. They're so deranged that candidate Biden said he was going to end Trump's border controls because anything Trump says, we oppose, even though President Trump's border controls actually protected this country and did his duty to this country to protect the borders and the integrity of this country. But Biden, candidate Biden, who became President Biden, and the Democrats, and all of those umpteen millions who voted for him, if Trump said it, they were opposed to it. The derangement is not only real, it's pervasive, and it is and has continued to be putrid. We are now at a time where the return of the Jedi coming in and saying, hey, where's our money going? Where has our money been going? We spend millions and millions and billions and billions and billions on what, to what, for what. So President Trump is doing a review, something that actually should be standard operating procedure for every new president. It's amazing that it has not been. He's doing it, and there are so many who are screeching and wailing and gnashing their teeth because the President of the United States, the head of government, wants to know what's going on in government. The screeching and the wailing because there will be people who will lose their jobs. At no point in time do most people want to see or hear about or think about other people losing their jobs. That's not what most people want. There are some interesting parallels, though. Or are they parallels to those thousands of government workers who were fired from their jobs because they did not want to take a jab to inject something into their bodies, that President Biden said they have to take the jab or they lose their jobs. I don't remember this kind of wailing and gnashing of teeth and upset about those people losing their jobs. I don't remember that. I don't remember the great concern for those people who had houses, who had mortgages, who had apartments and had rent to pay, who had car notes to pay, who had children to provide for, who were going to lose their health insurance. I don't remember that. I don't remember the great concern for the people who were being forced by government to do certain things. In that case, in this case, they're not being forced to do anything. They're just having to show that their job and their production and their contribution is worth continuing. I don't remember the upset, the outrage, the concern for those individual people that President Biden and the government fired because they would not comply with the President Biden's order for them to inject something into their bodies they did not want to have. I also don't remember the concern for people who did not want to do that but did it in order to keep their jobs. I don't remember any of this wailing and gnashing of teeth. This is not an either or. I'm simply saying, hey, you got all this reaction. Where were your mouths back then? Where were your mouths? Where was your concern back then? For the people whose livelihoods were lost, whose homes had to be sold, whose careers were lost, whose commitment to this country, the military, members of the military who lost their jobs, lost their futures, lost their careers. I don't remember a concern for them. We are in a time now. They're eerily reminiscent of 100 years ago, where in the 1920s, we spent, borrowed, played and played and played, and acted like everything was just going to continue until the crash. Not the same, but we are in a lot of, wait a minute, we've been spend. What is the national debt? 37 trillion? Is that billion with a B? No. Million with an M? No. It's trillion. Tango trillion. Tango Romeo trillion. $37 trillion. Our currency, the value of a dollar, is 1/4 reduced from what it was 4 years ago. We're in a great resettling, restructuring. We're in a great reset time. But we're in a reset time from those who imposed all of this on us. I don't wish anyone to lose their jobs. I've lost a job. I've lost more than one job. I've lost time and pay because of the shutdowns ordered by government, pushed by government during the pandemic. I didn't hear y'all saying anything. I didn't hear y'all saying anything. I didn't hear y'all saying anything. For those of us who had to continue to work while you all stayed home and ordered things, while you got constant pay, and we lost time and hours and opportunities. I didn't hear any of that. I'm not a person about revenge, but I am looking at it going, isn't it interesting that now that it finally hits you, you start to say, wait a minute, we should have some protections. Government shouldn't have this kind of power. We're in a great reset. The reset is not settled. We're not done. The reset is continuing. It's beginning. Oh yeah, up to now, it's still just beginning. Because they're only beginning to look at Government is the specific. Hard times are ahead. The 1930s were very, very, very hard times. And it was a whole decade and beyond. We do not have to go through it the same way in the same length, but we have massive resetting to do because of the terrible actions, decisions, and impositions by mostly the Democrats who have run this country into the ground. If you've lost your job because of Doge and the review of what you're doing and what you turn on President Biden, Vice President Harris, President Obama, who was the shadow puppeteer behind President Biden, you turn on Chuck Schumer, you turn on Nancy Pelosi and say, why did you prioritize your own playing in the stock market over protecting and running this country in a way that serves us through the hard times, not just crashes us at the end of them. Hard times are here. They're only going to get worse, it looks like. Let that be your wrong. Son of Liberty 2020, mliberty2020 @gmail.com. People who lost their jobs during the pandemic by governmental decree and insistence are looking at those who are being potentially going to lose their jobs because they're superfluous, because they don't contribute anything, or because it's wasteful. And they say, well, if you had opened your mouth when we were being attacked, when we were being undermined, when we were being forced out by governmental decree and governmental overreach, we might have sympathy for you. We have sympathy for you on a personal level, but as far as sympathy for you, if you're a Democrat, if you're a government worker, 90% who voted for the Democrats, welcome to the world. Welcome to the party, pal.